making headlines this hour. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif says the government will continue to increase investment in the dental sector, improving the quality of services and expand access to specialized dental care across the Maldives. The Maldives co-sponsors a resolution aimed at strengthening the independence and impartiality of the judiciary and legal professions during the 62nd session of the United Nations Human Rights Council. Minister of Arts, Culture and Heritage Hina Walid says the government aims to develop policies for the Maldives' heritage sector by seeking the views and advice of professionals working in the field.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Mariam Shaushat. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu decides to launch a national campaign to revive the culture of respect and good manners that has gradually declined among Maldivians. The decision forms a part of the government's broader efforts to preserve the Maldivian identity. Speaking about the campaign, President Dr. Muizzu said that by the time the current administration came to office, the Maldivian identity has been significantly eroded. However, he noted that the government has since initiated efforts to strengthen national identity by giving greater priority to Maldivian nationalism and the Divehi language. He also stated that important work is underway to study the nation's history and revitalize its cultural heritage. The President said that the support and cooperation of senior civil servants and officials would be essential in carrying out this work, adding that they had already been providing valuable assistance. He stressed that the common thread linking all of these efforts is the practice of showing respect, but observed that this aspect of Maldivian society had weakened with the rise of political polarization in the country. The President announced that a major nationwide campaign would be launched to restore the traditional values and good manners that have long been part of Maldivian society. Acknowledging that it would be a significant undertaking, he said the campaign would be implemented in a way that encourages participation from all members of the society. The President added that consultations and preparations for the campaign were already underway. The President also said that all institutions and civil society organizations would be invited to take part. The President further stated that the loss of this culture of respect had resulted from political division and that political leaders and political parties therefore had an important role to play in restoring it. The President emphasized that engaging in politics does not mean abandoning respect for others. President said the government would continue to prioritize the protection and promotion of national values. In addition to ongoing initiatives to preserve and revitalize Maldivian culture and strengthen the Divehi language, the President said the government would also focus on neglected areas requiring further attention and take the necessary measures to address them. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif says the government will continue to increase investment in the dental sector, improve the quality of services and expand access to specialized dental care across the Maldives. Speaking at the official ceremony marking the Golden Jubilee of the government's dental services at Hotel Gen, the Vice President reaffirmed the administration's commitment to strengthening oral health care and making high-quality dental services more accessible to the public. He said one of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's priorities is to decentralize specialized dental services and ensure they are available across the atolls, adding that efforts to achieve this objective are already underway. Highlighting developments in the sector, the Vice President noted that Maldivian dental specialists are now serving within the public health system across a broad range of specialized fields. He said this reflected the significant progress made in developing the country's dental workforce. The Vice President also called on dental professionals to embrace the latest advances in dental technology and use the Golden Jubilee as the beginning of a new era of innovation in the delivery of modern, high-quality dental services. Paying tribute to those who have contributed to the development of the dentistry in the Maldives, he expressed special appreciation to Ali Salim, describing his 5 decades of uninterrupted service to the nation's health sector as a lasting legacy and an exemplary model of public service. Concluding his address, the Vice President expressed confidence that dental services in the Maldives would continue to advance and become a regional benchmark for excellence in oral health care. As part of the Golden Jubilee celebrations, the Vice President launched a commemorative publication documenting the history of the government dental department. He also presented awards to pioneers of dental care in the Maldives and to individuals who played a pivotal role in introducing dental services to the country. First Lady Sajida Mohammed says that students should be encouraged to understand that mathematics is not merely a subject learned in classrooms and from textbooks, but an essential discipline that is closely connected to the practical aspects of everyday life. She made these remarks while delivering the keynote address as guest of honor at the launch of the book Mathematical Thinking in the Maldives, written by Dr. Aishat Shehnaz Adam, the Vice Chancellor of the Maldives National University, MNU. The First Lady noted that it was especially fitting that the book was launched after the occasion of the Maldives National Writers' Day, describing it as a significant contribution to the nation's educational and cultural development. She said the publication represents an important piece of scholarship examining the relationship between Maldivian culture, mathematics, and the national education curriculum. In her address, the First Lady highlighted the important role universities play in advancing knowledge, fostering innovation, and developing practical solutions that benefit society. She said institutions such as the Maldives National University help shape the country's future and described the book as an excellent example of research that connects the nation's past with its future. Speaking about the importance of mathematics, she stressed that it is far more than simply a school subject. She said it is rather a vital skill that underpins sound decision-making, creative thinking, and problem-solving. She also observed that mathematics forms the foundation of disciplines such as science, technology, and finance. The First Lady acknowledged that, as in many other countries, many students in the Maldives view mathematics as a different subject. She said this perception must change. The First Lady thanked the Maldives National University for prioritizing research that supports the country's development. She also praised Dr. Shehnaz for the considerable effort invested in writing the book and for her contribution to preserving and passing on Maldivian history and traditions to future generations. The Maldives co-sponsors a resolution aimed at strengthening the independence and impartiality of the judiciary and legal profession during the 62nd session of the United Nations Human Rights Council (UNHRC), where it also advocated for the rights of the Palestinian people and backed a series of human rights initiatives.
The 62nd session of the Human Rights Council concluded in Geneva on Friday after the Council adopted 28 resolutions and appointed 4 special procedures mandate holders. The outcome covered a broad range of thematic and country-specific issues. Throughout the session, the Maldives maintained an active presence, delivering national statements on key thematic areas and co-sponsoring several resolutions in line with government priorities. The country served as a member of the cross-regional core group for the resolution on the independence and impartiality of the judiciary, jurors, and assessors, and the independence of lawyers. The resolution seeks to strengthen judicial independence, safeguard access to justice and the rule of law, address emerging challenges affecting justice systems, and renew the mandate of the Special Rapporteur on the independence of judges and lawyers for a further 3 years. The resolution was adopted by consensus with 62 co-sponsors at the time of its adoption. During the session, the Maldives also continued to advocate for the right of the Palestinian people, including their right to self-determination. It called for the protection of civilians, unhindered humanitarian access, and a just and lasting peace based on international law and relevant United Nations resolutions. The Maldives also co-sponsored resolutions on the right to education, the protection of healthcare in armed conflict, the enhancement of international cooperation in the field of human rights, and technical assistance and capacity building to empower women's access to education and work in digital and cybersecurity related fields. According to the Maldives, these co-sponsorships reflect its continued commitment to advancing human rights, social justice, and sustainable development at the international level. The country also joined joint statements delivered on behalf of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC), representing an informal group on small island developing states (SIDS. The Maldives delivered a joint statement calling for demand-driven, country-owned technical cooperation and capacity building to strengthen resilient and people-centered health systems tailored to the specific needs and circumstances of SIDS. On the sidelines of the session, the Maldives partnered with the Bahamas, Fiji, Finland, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, and Vanuatu with the support of Universal Rights Group and the Essex Human Rights Center to organize a side event marking the 20th anniversary of the Human Rights Council. Titled A Small Island Story, 20 Years of SIDS Advocacy and Influence at the Human Rights Council, the event reflected on the role and impact of small island developing states within the Council, highlighting their contributions as leaders, bridge builders, and advocates for human rights. The Maldivian delegation was led by Ambassador and Permanent Representative of the Maldives to the United Nations Office at Geneva, Dr. Salma Rashid. The delegation also included Councillor Adam Hamid, Councillor Amnath Shifaya Ibrahim, Second Secretary Aishat Rayahin, and Attaché Raid Said from the permanent mission.
Minister of Arts, Culture and Heritage Hina Walid says the government aims to develop policies for the Maldives heritage sector by seeking the views and advice of professionals working in the field.
The minister made the remarks while speaking to the media following a special consultation meeting titled The Voice of Heritage Professionals. She noted that this was the first meeting of its kind, bringing together professionals actively engaged in the heritage sector to discuss key issues and provide input. According to the minister, participants represented a wide range of fields, including traditional Maldivian medicine, the visual arts, and small businesses connected to cultural heritage. She described the opportunity to meet with practitioners and discuss matters relating to their respective fields as an important step towards strengthening the sector. She added that the discussions had already generated valuable ideas and identified numerous areas where collaborative efforts could be undertaken. Minister Hina Walid said the government's approach is to shape the future direction of the sector through the professional guidance, expertise, and recommendation of heritage practitioners. Reviving Maldivian national identity was one of the key pledges made by President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu in his inaugural presidential address. As part of the government's 2.0 agenda, while public services are being digitalized, efforts are also underway to support the digital transformation of the country's cultural heritage sector. These efforts include initiatives to facilitate the digitization of heritage resources, as well as programs aimed at building human capacity within the sector. Ministry of Arts, Culture and Heritage held a special meeting titled The Voice of Heritage Professionals to increase the participation of artists by incorporating their views and advice into planning and decision-making within the cultural sector. According to the ministry, the initiative is an important effort launched by the government to better understand the perspectives of those working in the sector and identify solutions to the challenges and concerns facing the arts community. During the meeting, Minister Hina spent considerable time engaging with artists, listening to discussions about their work and exchanging views on how cultural activities can be further developed through collaboration with the government. Participants emphasized the importance of holding regular meetings of this nature where professionals from different artistic disciplines can come together to exchange ideas and discuss common challenges. The event was accompanied by a relaxed cultural program. Attendees were offered a selection of traditional teas that were once popular among Maldivians, along with light refreshment. The National Heritage Center also displayed a small exhibition, while traditional board games such as Ovalu and Tinghama were available for participants to enjoy.
The Maldives and India discusses the ongoing negotiations on the India-Maldives Free Trade Agreement and the finalization of the bilateral investment treaty between the two countries. The talks took place during Minister of Economic Development, Transport and Trade Mohammed Said's official visit to India, where he met Indian Commerce and Industry Minister Shri Piyush Goyal. According to the Economic Minister, Productive and constructive discussions took place during the meeting with his Indian counterpart on advancing the Maldives-India economic partnership, including the ongoing negotiations on the India-Maldives Free Trade Agreement, the finalization of the bilateral investment treaty, and several new initiatives to strengthen trade, investment and economic cooperation between the two countries. Minister Said said these efforts reflect the shared commitment of both countries to advance the vision of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to further deepen the Maldives-India partnership through enhanced economic cooperation and mutually beneficial growth. Both countries said new investments and economic cooperation would elevate their long-standing relationship. Economic Ministry said both sides agreed to strengthen economic ties with a focus on trade, investment and sustainable economic development. The proposed FTA is expected to open access to new markets for businesses in both countries, increase trade opportunities, address barriers faced by businesses, and create a more favorable environment for investors and businesses. The meeting was also attended by the Maldivian High Commissioner to India, Aishat Azima, and officials from the Economic Ministry and the High Commission. The S&P 500 ends lower, weighed down by losses in Micron Technology and other chip makers due to mounting doubts about the sustainability of Wall Street's AI-driven rally.
Chip stocks in Asia and the United States dropped after memory chip giant Samsung Electronics' blowout earnings report failed to satisfy investors with sky-high expectations. Micron and SanDisk both fell, pulling the Felix chip index lower. Adding to worries about high-flying chip makers, Reuters reported that Chinese startup DeepSeek is developing its own AI chip, a push that could reduce its dependence on NVIDIA and Huawei chips. The S&P 500 lost 33.58 points, or 0.45%, to end at 7,503.85 points, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 302.47 points, or 1.16%, to 25,818.69. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 130.76 points, or 0.25%, to 52,925.15. Tuesday's chip sell-off marked the latest bout of volatility among memory chip makers and other AI-related stocks, as investors worry that sharp gains related to the build-out of AI data centers may have left the shares too pricey.
The U.S. Central Command says that it had struck over 80 targets during its latest strikes on Iran, including Iranian air defense systems, coastal radar sites, and anti-ship missile capabilities.
Reuters was not able to independently verify the location and the date when the video was filmed. No earlier version of the video was found posted online. Iranian media reported explosions early Wednesday local time on Iran's main oil hub of Khag Island, on Qeshm Island, and in the southern port cities of Sirik and Bandar Abbas. According to an Iranian state TV reporter, no civilian deaths were reported, but several people were injured by shrapnel from an enemy projectile that hit a commercial pier in Sirik. Iran's top joint military command, Khatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters, said on Wednesday that Iranian armed forces would deliver a crushing response and warned that Tehran would not allow U.S. interference in the management of the Strait of Hormuz.
Antoine Griezmann says he had fulfilled a lifelong ambition by joining Major League Soccer club Orlando City, with the former France forward excited to live in the United States.
The 35-year-old joined Orlando on a contract through 2028 after leaving Atletico Madrid as the club's all-time leading scorer, saying he had dreamed of playing in the MLS since he was 18 and wanted to arrive while he still felt physically and mentally capable of performing at his best. The World Cup winner added that he hoped his experience would help Orlando compete for trophies, while jokingly wishing Lionel Messi would only win the World Cup Golden Boot and Kylian Mbappe the World Cup trophy.
A nearly 38-foot Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton named Gus heads to auction at Sotheby's in New York with a pre-sale estimate of $20 million to $30 million.
The mounted skeleton from the late Cretaceous period, about 67 million years ago, was discovered in the Hell Creek Formation in Harding County, South Dakota. Gus is approximately 61% complete by bone count, with 183 fossil bone elements and 30 gastrula, or belly ribs, according to the auction house. The skeleton measures about 38 feet in body length and rises 12.5 feet tall. Its skull is about 54 inches long and about 82% represented, including all 6 tooth-bearing jaw elements. Sotheby's says it also has rare upper forelimb bones, a rare furcula, a complete pelvis, and substantial fossil material from both feet. Gus was excavated over field seasons in 2021, 2022, and 2023 on private land owned by the late Gary Gus Licking, a cattle rancher in Harding County. The fossil was named in his honor. Hatton said the sales include copyright, giving the buyer rights connected to reproductions. Sotheby's Natural History Sale is part of Geek Week 2026, which will feature 3 live auctions from July 1st to July 15, spanning natural history, space exploration, and the history of science and technology.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news updates. Have a good day. Goodbye.